Jaden Daniels is a better passer than Lamar Jackson.
You know, instead of just talking about it, we was about it today.
Motionless brainwaves attempt to swim their way to sense, can't tame the untamed.
What's up, Ravens fans? My name is Ryan, and welcome back to another episode of the Flock Rundown. Big win, 4 straight wins. Ravens win 30-23 over the Commanders. Commanders look solid, man. They put up a good fight. Jaden Daniels looked sharp. McLaurin had a good game in the red zone, but not enough to match what this Ravens offense is doing, and this truly is the number one offense in the NFL. The Baltimore Ravens are multiple. They're able to win in a variety of ways. I thought that this game would be a Derrick Henry dominant run game throughout. It ended up being statistically a pretty dominant Derrick Henry day, but early on the Commanders were stacking the box. They were doing a lot of the things that the Bengals were doing to sell out and stop the run, and they had some success. But we can adjust and win through the air. Lamar Jackson went nuts through the air again. Zay Flowers with a career day, really just a career first half. I don't think he touched the ball the whole second half, but 9 catches for 132 yards, the most receiving yards in Zay Flowers' career. Lamar Jackson threw for over 300. If you slow the run game down, we can go win through the air because they start running a lot of man-to-man, and there's a lot of one-on-one matchups for these tight ends and receivers, and we have talent everywhere. So proved it again, man. We were able to win in a different way. And then we went back to the run game. We really won in both directions this game. But that first half, they slowed the run game down, and we went through the air. The second half, we were able to run a little bit more. I know Jonathan Allen got hurt for them. That definitely didn't help and probably opened up a little bit more holes on the inside, but Derrick Henry in this run game got going in the second half. They closed this game out when we needed it. The offense had 2 90-plus yard scoring drives. I mean, that's huge in a game like this, especially when the defense isn't having a dominant day. They held the Commanders to 23 points. That obviously was enough, but watching this game, I definitely thought that our defense should have made a couple more stops, but credit to Jaden Daniels, man. Credit to McLaurin, this offensive line. Our pass rush wasn't getting home consistently at all. We did have a few sacks. Shout out Travis Jones, Yannick Ngakoue. I think Matabike and Pierce had half sacks, but the pass rush wasn't a problem throughout this game. You know, late they were able to close and get some good pressure, but I feel like Jaden Daniels had more than enough time to throw the ball, and he was making great decisions, looking safeties off with his eyes, and our defense did not play as well as I expected. I did predict a 34-24 score, so obviously the Commanders scoring 23 is pretty close, but I thought our defense would be able to cause a little bit more disruption. It felt like they were still moving the ball up and down the field on us. We were letting a lot of underneath stuff up. We were letting everything in front of us, you know, bend but don't break mentality. What's up, Dean Pease? It just seemed like they were still able to move the ball, though. You know, you're letting everything in front of you and you're avoiding big plays. That's great. But they're still dinking, dunking their way down the field, whether it's to the running backs, to Zach Ertz in the middle of the field. Daniels got away on a few runs. I thought we did a pretty good job of containing Daniels from running the ball, but he was still able to dice us up. They ended up having to throw more passes than they've thrown all season long, which I expected. I thought that our defense would shut down the run game, which they did, and force them to go through the air. It played out pretty much exactly like that. I was just a little surprised that our secondary didn't have a better game, and I guess I shouldn't be because our secondary week after week has not given us really any reason to have a lot of confidence. But I did like this matchup in particular better for us, but I'm still not leaving this game super confident about our secondary. You know, we got the Bucs coming up next week with way better receivers than this, and Baker's out there slinging it too. So our secondary's got to get right, man. We definitely got to fix that. I would say that's what I leave today most concerned about still. Everything else, man, great. The offense is rolling at an all-time level for a Ravens offense right now. I mean, this is historic Ravens offensive success. We're the number one offense in the NFL right now. Game after game, Derrick Henry has proven to be unstoppable. Even though they stopped the run early in this game, we just switched it up, went through the air. Lamar Jackson was firing on all cylinders through the air, taking advantage of whatever the defense gives us. Zay Flowers unguardable in that first half. Second half, we ended up finding some more success on the ground, so we didn't really have to continue to go to Zay Flowers. But shout out to Zay, man. Shout out to Rashad Bateman. He was winning a lot of his battles, had some some big clutch conversions, huge first downs for us, man. Lamar and Bateman, that connection is growing into something that we all have been yearning for, over the years since Bateman's been drafted. And I'm not surprised that this connection is evolving. We just needed Bateman to stay on the field. It was never a talent question. It was just an availability question and a chemistry question. And I think that that's starting to evolve game after game right now. Bateman is starting to pick it up. Zay is a dominant weapon in this offense. The other Zay is a dominant weapon, Isaiah Likely. And then shout out Mark Andrews, man. I think he is officially back. We're not going to see the consistency that we used to see in the past where Mark Andrews is going off every single week because we do have so many other weapons and Derrick Henry in the run game. But this is back-to-back weeks where Mark Andrews was involved in key situations. Lamar's getting the ball to him. He had that great touchdown catch. Great throw by Lamar, too, to keep it away from that safety. But let's dive into some of these stats. Lamar Jackson, 20 of 26 through the air, 323 yards, a touchdown, an interception. He was sacked twice, but efficient day for him. He was dialed, over 300 yards passing again. This is not normal for the Ravens to be airing it out so much and dominating on the ground. So the Ravens offense is truly clicking on all cylinders right now. On the ground, Derrick Henry, 24 carries, 132 yards, 2 touchdowns. Lamar Jackson added 11 more carries for 40 yards. And then receiving, Zay Flowers, career day, 9 catches, 132 yards. Rashad Bateman, 4 catches for 71 yards. Both are season highs for those guys. Mark Andrews, 3 catches, 66 yards, and that touchdown. Isaiah Likely, 2 for 27. Nelson Aguilar, 1 for 25. On defense, Marlon Humphrey led the way with 9 total tackles. Roquan Smith added 7. Travis Jones with a sack. Michael Pierce and Matabike with half sacks. Yannick Ngakoue with a sack. Our defense had a dominant day stopping the run again. Definitely not a dominant day through the air. Jaden Daniels was 34 of 35. That's the most passes that he's attempted all season long for 269 yards, 2 touchdowns, no turnovers. So really strong day from him, honestly. On the ground, Jaden Daniels led the way with 6 carries for 22 yards. Austin Eckler, 9 carries for 21 yards. They only had 52 total rushing yards. So the Ravens defense did their job stopping the run. Jaden Daniels was able to spread the ball around. The Ravens defense was letting up a lot of underneath stuff. And then Jaden connecting with Terry McLaurin in the red zone was huge. I mean, Brandon Stevens was all over Terry McLaurin, but Brandon Stevens locating the ball in the air this year has not been good at all. He's playing tight coverage. He's usually there on the receiver, but they're getting the catch almost every single time. We've seen this throughout this entire season, so feel like Stevens has taken a bit of a step back from last year. Our secondary has to be better. Nate Wiggins has to be better. They're definitely giving him a lot of opportunities, and he's showing up in some moments and then getting beat in other moments. He had that bad pass interference call, so definitely some things to work on leaving this game. I would say mainly in that secondary, and then maybe a few false start penalties and self-inflicted wounds in that area. The Tyler Linderbaum fumbled snap and Mark Andrews dropped pick. Couple self-inflicted wounds, but fortunately they did not come back to bite us. And the Ravens were able to capitalize and get their 4th straight win, man. So I'm hype. I'm feeling good. I'm optimistic about where we're headed still. This is 4 straight wins. We started out 0-2. It was looking pretty dark. But now I think the train's rolling, at least on offense. Our offense looks as dominant as it has ever looked in Raven history, and that's a bold statement, but I don't think it's wrong. How dominant we are on the ground with Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson, and then when teams sell out to stop that, how dominant we can be through the air now. We're proving it in back-to-back weeks. We did it against the Bengals last week. Now we did it against the Commanders. Lamar Jackson throws over 300 in both games. If we can get the defense playing all together, get this secondary tightened up, this team is going to be very, very difficult to stop. Little concerned about the secondary heading into our Monday Night Football matchup next week in Tampa Bay because they're slinging it. Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, Baker, they're a tough passing offense, and that is by far the thing that we are struggling in stopping right now. So once again, I think this secondary has to tighten up, but other than that, this team's ready to go, man. The Ravens are proven to be a true contender, and our schedule's pretty favorable. We had a gauntlet to start this year, but we're coming out of it through 6 weeks, 4-2. But great game today, great win. Let me know what you guys are thinking about this game. How are you feeling moving forward? What stood out in this game? What did I not mention? These post-game videos are always my initial reaction. I haven't even watched a press conference or anything at all yet, so jumping right on camera after the game just to give you my initial thoughts about it. So let me know what I missed and didn't highlight. But I appreciate you guys for tuning in to another episode of the Flock Rundown. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday watching football or whatever you got going on. And I'll let the greatest linebacker in the history of the game, Ray Lewis, take us out.
Ravens Flock. The Flock Rundown is the place to be. My man Ryan has been a lifelong Ravens fan since he was born. The Flock Rundown. Nothing gets better than waking up and wondering how high we can fly. Tune in.
Motionless brainwaves attempt to swim their way to sense, can't tame the untamed.